Hello,
Hi,
Ella. How you
how you
doing?
doing? Yeah, good. You?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for the interview.
Of course. Thanks
So,
for being here.
so let's talk about what's going on with Lucy in the second season. She's
What's
been
going
like,
on?
yeah, she's been out in the wasteland for a while now. Of course, the wasteland is a brutal place,
Sure
very
is.
different than the world. And then, what was it like for you to play the character? Was she's trying to maintain her innocence and she's trying to maintain her sanity.
Yeah.
How was it?
I think it's interesting that the writers chose that when we pick up at the beginning of season two, you know, she's very much trying to go on as she has always gone on, put one foot in front of the other, maintain her optimism, maintain her belief in people's inherent goodness and the golden rule.
Yeah,
And that's what we do. We go back to the familiar. We try to carry on, um, and the world keeps spinning. It's just that there is this part of her, that is broken. And there is this part of her that she cannot ignore or suppress or deny that is questioning everything she ever thought she knew. If she was this wrong about her father, she was this wrong about the vaults. What else is she wrong about? Is she like her father? Is she gonna turn into him? Is she gonna turn into the ghoul? You know, and I think it's incredible. How much can one person take? She's been paired up with the ghoul, and they're on this sort of buddy duo road trip experience, and they're driving each other crazy, and they're sort of they're trying to influence each other, and they're very stubborn, and they each want to be seen and want to be heard and want to have it their way, and they're really they're really fighting. They're sort of bringing out the worst in each other. um, and Lucy's really trying to maintain, like you say, this optimism, this can do attitude, and it's getting increasingly more difficult the more time she spends with the girl and the more time she spends in the wasteland. And that's sort of where we start in season two, and it's very interesting to see, as the season progresses, the ways that Lucy struggles to keep her armor intact and struggles to keep that mentality intact.
yeah, and gradually she start like showing that she's gonna. I mean, she's gonna make mistakes and she's gonna like even like try like things that she never thought she'd try, and she will get her hands dirty because you need to survive there too, right? But as
Mm-hmm.
you say, the one of the most interesting things here in the series is just like you have like different groups. There's like two main groups, but nobody's just like necessarily completely good or necessarily completely evil, right? I mean, it's just pretty interesting that.
Yeah, 100%. That's something that I love about the show and the writers and what they do is, we love to put things in black and white boxes, and that's the way we like to think because it gives us this sense of this illusion of control. When actually what they do is they find a gray area and they put the stake down and they really dig into it and explore it. And that's what Lucy is trying to figure out this season is she doesn't she doesn't love her father anymore, and she doesn't completely hate him. It's somewhere in between. It's complex and it's really difficult. You don't stop loving someone when you find out they're a monster. It hurts you. Similar to the ghoul. Everything that she's running from and rejecting in him and putting up her walls and her armor is all the stuff that she's going to inevitably create because it's what she's running from. That gray area of, like you say, no one's completely good, no one's completely evil. Lucy is not completely good. The ghoul is not completely evil. There may be an exception to that rule with Hank. Hank may be completely evil. Jury's still out, we don't know. But for the most part, it's the gray area coupled with the tone of the show, the comedy, the heart, the drama that I think makes this show so special and so smart.
And in that sense, I was working again with like with Walton and with Cal. Well, with Cal, obviously, with his character, it's just like a complete different relationship because now she knows that he's bad. So how was with Cal, for example? I mean, the dynamic changed, right?
Completely. I love working with Kyle. I think he is such an incredible actor. Obviously, it goes without saying, and he's being given so much to work with here. It's so juicy. His storyline is so phenomenal, and I'm so excited for people to see it. And actually, again, quite similar to Lucy and the Ghoul, how Lucy and Hank, how their character development mirrors each other in opposite ways, they what they share is this optimism, right? And whereas hers is a choice, when you continue to choose to believe in good and see the good in people, even when you're shown otherwise, that comes from strength. Whereas his optimism is delusional and it's scary and it's sort of I don't know, very very dark actually, and unpredictable in a way that makes it very dangerous. And they
Yeah.
share that in each other, and it's probably the thing that will be their downfall. Um, so it's very fun. I mean, seeing Kyle at the beginning of season one, his performance, Hank, and then the end of season two, I mean, it's so incredible. I'm really excited for people to see it.
And what about Walton? Because yeah, you mentioned the relationship with like the goal, and then it's difficult. It's still difficult. I mean, at one point it seems that it's getting better, but then it gets worse. So
Yeah,
how was working on that with Walton?
it's really fun. I mean, again, it's really fun to talk about and think about all the ways that Lucy and the Ghoul influence each other, the things they might need from each other, the things that they hate about each other, their similarities that they would never admit to anyone else or to themselves. And obviously, their differences are so obvious; they're right there on the paper. Um, and starting in this place where I almost sometimes I think of them at the beginning of season two, sort of like this old married couple who just don't love each other. They love each other, but they hate each other. And they are, sort of bickering constantly, and they both want to be seen and heard, but aren't able to communicate and can't give, and there's no compromise, and they just want it their way and want the other person to do what they want them to do. And then obviously you put, this very unlikely duo in the wasteland. Barely an hour goes by without something crazy happening in the wasteland, and you have to survive. And it's everything that wasteland throws at you. The way that you handle that stress, the way that you handle, the way your differences help you navigate that stress and navigate your survival. You can't help but start to root for these two. I had it. When we were performing, you kind of want them to figure it out, and maybe after the wasteland throws enough at them, they do start to find some common ground and they do start to get along a bit.
Thank you very much, Ella, for your time, and thank you for the series and for your work.
Of course. Thank you so much. It was so nice to speak to you.
Take care. Bye.